Hey there, good evening. This stream has started roughly 12 minutes before time, so if you're watching a video on demand, feel free to skip the first 12 minutes for sure, and then see if the actual lesson has started. After the stream ends, I'm going to mark the exact spot where the lesson actually starts. Let me just check some of the checkboxes here. Checkboxes. There we go. So, do we have anyone in the chat already or not? It says concurrent viewers too, so there must be someone. Oh, Demland Trap, hello and good evening. What's up? I'm just gonna continue in English, so you know how it goes. It's funny to see a stream scheduled for 1900 hours, but it's actually starting a little bit earlier. Not Del Anderson, good evening, or good day to you, sir. Good day to you, sir. Yeah, let me just switch to my OBS so I can actually see what I'm doing. Great stuff. So how have you been in the past couple of days? How are your Firefoxes treating you? I'm just joking, but it's been an interesting couple of days for the well, I wanted to say Linux community, but not actually. A whole bunch of users are using that browser. I can't tell the exact time, but I think like roughly, I don't know, 15 years ago or so, I think Firefox had like a huge 30% of market share, right? I don't know if I'm correct on this number, but I remember it had a really big number even before it switched to the new fast engine. It had a big market share while it was still really slow. So that was kind of interesting. The market share started declining rapidly, and it was very known to be a very slow browser. And then they improved on it quite a lot, but it was too late. And the train has passed already at that point. You should type something in chat so I know what topic to tackle while we're waiting for others to join. I don't plan to start the actual lesson for at least 9 more minutes, right? We can chat about whatever in the meantime. Concurrent viewer 6, that's also fine. Plenty of us to start the actual lesson when it's time. Was there a Firefox problem? Del Anderson is asking. Well, I'm going to do the TLDR for you, so we don't have to look into their website this time. Basically, they like this week, right? This week they published terms of use of Firefox, and in those terms of use, it says something like you are giving us a non-exclusive right to do with your data some stuff and help you out to navigate the internet. And well, it wasn't necessarily malicious, but it was so vague that it can be interpreted as whatever you type into Firefox, whatever you upload into Firefox, whatever you download with Firefox, we know everything. And we can do with this, we can sell it to third parties. And then they said, well, we are not exactly selling it. We may just borrow to third parties to improve the service. But then they changed the terms again. And basically it was like 4 or 5 times they changed the terms of use this week. And as I understand it, there wasn't terms of use at all until this week. And then I figured out that the terms of use is actually only applying for the binary version of Firefox, but if you download the source code and compile it yourself, then you don't have to agree to terms of use. That's my interpretation, the part with source code. So I'm not exactly a lawyer, obviously, so I don't know what's happening there. Also, the new terms of use says that you have to use Firefox in a way in accordance to their rules, right? You cannot you cannot watch violence with Firefox. You cannot watch porn or sexual. Well, not porn, but they said sexually explicit content, right? Uh, so all of this kind of felt really weird. I mean, it's my browser, right? They have a big list of rules which apply to you as a Firefox user, and a lot of these rules are regular legal stuff, right? So you can't hurt other people, you cannot hack other people's computers, all that normal stuff that you aren't going to do anyway. But some of these things are weird, and you can go ahead on their webpage and see what the current terms are. It's a little bit odd. That's all. I'm saying not necessarily malicious. It's just the way that they phrased it was too vague and can be interpreted in way too many ways, right? So if there was a moment when a company has made their terms of use so vague that it can be interpreted as a good thing for the consumer as well as a really, really bad thing for the consumer, it is now. Firefox sounds like it's going bad. I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's just that they are obviously doing something new and they are trying to prepare the legal grounds for doing whatever they are going to do with Firefox. That's how it seems. Well, the most obvious thing that they are going to do, I think, is what they have already announced. They are, putting some kind of AI into Firefox, but we still don't know what exactly are they going to do. And I don't know. I really don't know. Brody Robertson did a little bit of comparison with other browsers, and if I understood his point of view, browsers like Safari don't have such terms of use like the new Firefox does. So I would say that, Apple has really, really good lawyers. So if Apple doesn't need these terms of use, then, why does Mozilla needs them? So it was, it's still weird, right? I'm not pointing my finger at Firefox. I'm not pointing, I'm not pointing my pitchforks at Firefox or Mozilla. I'm not calling anyone to, how do I say it? Don't act without proof, right? If these new terms make you uncomfortable, then by all means, temporarily stop using it until the air clears up. That's very obvious, right? If you don't think it's anything malicious, then go ahead and continue using Firefox. It doesn't have to be a big deal for you. If you think it's something malicious, then you use your own head. That's all. There are some of the players on YouTube, right, who have started a really big drama over this. So I don't know whether this is necessary, but I do know if you don't start the proper amount of drama, then you're not going to accomplish anything, right? And we can already see that Mozilla started backtracking a little bit, and that happened in just a couple of days. So by yelling really loudly, we just might have stopped something that Mozilla was planning to do, but we have yet to see where this is going. Joseph DeGarma says, I'm trying out the Florp browser. I installed the Flatpak version and it seems to work good. Yeah, Florp is fine. The customizations that Florp did are actually things that I personally don't really need, except one thing, and that is Florp can put your tabs to sleep when you don't use them for a while and free up your resources. So that part is good. That's something that Florp does really well. But the rest of the visual enhancements, the sidebar and all that stuff, I disabled all that on Florp when I was testing it last year. I don't really use a lot of buttons in my web browser. I'm kind of a person who prefers a web browser to be a program installed locally, which is able to fetch the source code of a web page and then use its powers, meaning the internal engine, to render this source code and present it to me as content. And that's pretty much what I want from a web browser. Of course, in the modern age, we have came to rely on various nagware blockers. So I also need that as well. So browsers like Conqueror from KDE is out of the question, because Conqueror really renders the web page well, but the overall browser experience is a little bit lacking in that regard, because I have come to rely on certain extensions that make my life with browsing the internet a little bit less miserable, so to speak, right? Dell Anderson says a browser should be a neutral tool. Stay out of my data. Well, yeah, yes, of course you're correct. But, companies will be companies and they want your money or someone else's money by selling your data or any kind of combination that will give them money, right? The more money, the better. So I don't know. I don't know. Dell Anderson says, heard of a brand new browser built from scratch based on web standards, but can't recall the name. And Joseph says Ladybug. It's not Ladybug, it's Ladybird, but yeah, you're spot on. Zen has more bugs. Yeah, it's Ladybird, but it doesn't matter what the name is. These guys are definitely starting from scratch. That's their promise, and they said that they're going to release the first alpha version. Alpha meaning something for early adopters. I think they said like summer 2026. Actually, let's give it a look. Let's give it a look here. Let's use the ungoogled Chromium for this. Ladybird. Oh, that's a movie. Okay, Ladybird browser. Ladybird browser. Okay, we are targeting a first alpha release for early adopters in 2026. Okay, so it's not summer, but I did correctly remember the year. Demlan Trap says they are to the point now where they are using Firefox debug and DevTools. Okay, I wasn't following along. I want them to get closer to something usable, because I don't like to. I don't like to. I want my first impression to be good, right? And it is really obvious if you try a really, really unfinished product that it's not going to be a good experience. So I'm not sure if I want to try it this early. That's all. Okay, there is... Oh, Stevie, welcome in. Yeah, we were talking about Ladybird, just mentioning it. Not a big deal. Cheers. How many of you feel ready to start reading? Mark Carpenter, hello. Just popped in. I understand they pulled back on the taking of data. No, they didn't pull back. They changed the text from bad to gaslighting. They changed the text from we are not selling your data, we are just borrowing it. I mean, you can read it yourself. I don't want to talk about it right now. Well, we can talk more Firefox after the lesson. We should start now. Okay, I don't have Fedora Linux installed. So we are going to try today a little bit of kind of a no hands-on approach to see how that works. If it doesn't work well for us, then I'll make sure next time I have proper operating system installed. Joseph, yeah, I mean, KDE is very customizable, so you can do whatever you want with it in terms of looks. Many don't work on Fedora. Well, that makes me kind of half happy, because that means that I don't really need Fedora installation on this one. As usual, I did not really read through this lesson. I'm going to read through this with you now. So I kind of like to have my first impression takes on everything for as long as that works. Okay, let me pull my head out of the way, like here. This should be fine. Use RPM and yum package management. Instructions unclear. I mistakenly installed Windows. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay, this lesson weighs 3 kilos, right? We will pretend to install, reinstall, upgrade, and remove packages using RPM, yum, and Zypper. Yeah. Obtain information on RPM packages, determine what files a package provides, awareness of DNF. Okay, this sounds similar enough to the last lesson. Okie dokie, introduction. A long time ago, in a galaxy, when Linux was still in its infancy, the most common way to distribute software was a compressed... this is the same as in the last lesson, isn't it? The same sentence. With source code which you would unpack and compile yourself. However, as the amount of complexity of software grew, the need for a way to distribute precompiled software became clear. After all, not everyone had the resources, both in time and computing power, to compile large projects like the Linux kernel or an X server. This is copy-paste, literally. Soon efforts to standardize a way to distribute these software packages grew, and the first package managers were born. apt. These tools made it much easier to install, configure, or remove software from a system. One of those was the RPM package manager and its corresponding tool, RPM, developed by Red Hat. today. They are widely used not only on Red Hat Enterprise Linux itself, but also on its descendants like Fedora, CentOS, and Oracle Linux. Other distributions like OpenSUSE and even other operating systems like IBM's IX. Okay. Other package management tools popular on Red Hat compatible distros are Yum, Yellow Dog Updater Modified, DNF, Dandified Yum, and Zypper, which can streamline many of the aspects of the installation, maintenance, and removal of packages, making package management much easier. While TrueDoEnd 1 thought that Fedora 41 has removed the old Yum package manager. Well, good if you thought that. In this lesson, we will learn how to use RPM, Yum, DNF, and Zypper to obtain, install, manage, and remove software on a Linux system. Despite using the same package format, there are internal differences between distributions, so a package made specifically for OpenSUSE might not work on a Red Hat Enterprise Linux system and vice versa. When searching for packages, always check for compatibility and try to find one tailored for your specific distribution, if possible. The RPM package manager, RPM. The RPM package manager is the essential tool for managing software packages on Red Hat-based or derived systems. The most basic operation is to install a package, which can be done with rpm-i package name, where package name is the name of the RPM package you wish to install, of course. If there is a previous version of a package on the system, you can upgrade to a newer version using the -U parameter. Okay, so this is already a difference between apt, because in apt you can just use the dpkg-i to install and use the same parameter to upgrade the package as well if you have a package handy, right? The new version. The same command will install it and upgrade it. Well, here obviously you need to use the -U. Nice notifications on my phone. If there is no previous version of package name installed, then a fresh copy will be installed. To avoid this and only upgrade an uninstalled package, use the -F option. Okay, so this is already a little bit confusing. So -I installs the package, -U capital 1 upgrades the package or installs it if it's not installed. So already this one is useless, at least from the perspective of what we learned so far. And if you only want to upgrade, you can use the -F for the upgrade. So I guess you could use the -I to install and use this one for the upgrade only, or just use this one for everything. So it's up to you. Maybe we will find out what's the deal behind this. In both operations, you can add the -V parameter to get a verbose output. More information is shown during the installation. Daryl Anderson says, in reality, .deb and RPM seem to be the most commonly available packages on independent non-repo websites. Yes, most definitely. By looking from the history perspective, right? The thing is, in the beginning of Linux time, right? In the 90-something years, right? When the actual distributions were getting born, there were only three of the big ones, right? Slackware, Debian, and Red Hat. These three are the main ones. Slackware being a little bit more enthusiast-like, and how would I put it? I think Slackware is more for people who prefer kind of a more control over their systems, but it is always on a scale, right? More control given to you by default usually means that things are not that great for a newcomer who really doesn't know anything and wants things to just work right. So Red Hat and Debian kind of took over in the major space, right? That's why their package formats are distributed by default on many websites, right? And sometimes websites kind of avoid not DNF but RPM, right? And offer only the Debian package because Debian is on the desktop systems. It kind of seems that Debian derived distributions are absolutely the majority, right? Among the desktop users. So sometimes the websites don't even bother with the RPM, but usually it's RPM and deb. KOS is independent and uses Pacman. Yeah, but that doesn't. That's not what Dale Anderson said. Dale Anderson said if you go to Discord webpage, the web page, and click on download Discord for Linux, it will only offer you a .deb file. It will not offer you a Pacman file. That's what Dale Anderson is saying. Actually, he said that it will offer you deb and RPM, but in the case of Discord, it's just deb. Okay. In both operations, you can add -v for verbose and -h to get hash signs printed as a visual aid to track installation progress. Multiple parameters can be combined into one. So RPM -i, -v, and -h is the same as RPM IVH. I actually remember using this command so many years ago. I didn't really use Red Hat all that much. I mean the actual Red Hat, not the new one, the Enterprise Linux, but the first one. I didn't use that one much, but I did use Mandrake for a while. I think this was the switch that everyone used back in the day, IVH. To remove an installed package, pass the -e parameter as in erase to RPM followed by the name of the package you wish to remove. Okay, so a little bit of mind. I wanted to say something rude, but the letters are different than on deb. Demlan Trap said I had some old version of Red Hat on a few CDs that my dad brought up from work. Didn't like it that much. I had a friend in high school who used Red Hat at the time. It was, how many years was that ago? I think 25. Maybe a bit less. Between 20 and 25. No, definitely 25. I was way out of high school 20 years ago. So 25 then, when my friend was using Red Hat at home. I remember him saying how he cannot believe how stupid Windows is because it doesn't shut down when you tell it to shut down. Because Windows was always able to get stuck when you click the shutdown button, either because something would bug out or you had something open, so it would end up asking you, are you sure you want to shut down because you have something open? And simply it wouldn't shut down. And he wasn't used to that. He was simply used to, type shut down, and the system would shut down, no questions asked. Nowadays we have systemd, which actually asks you questions. So that's funny how it goes. If an installed package depends on the package being removed, you will get an error message. Failed dependencies. Unzip is needed by file roller. To complete the operation, first you will need to remove the packages that depend on the one you wish to remove, so file roller. You can pass multiple package names to RPM to remove multiple packages at once. Okay, so still the same as dpkg in Debian-based. Dealing with the dependencies. More often than not, a package may depend on others to work as intended. For example, an image editor may need libraries to open JPEG files, or a utility may need a widgets toolkit like Qt or GTK for its user interface. RPM will check if those dependencies are installed on your system and will fail to install the package if they are not. In this case, RPM will list what is missing. However, it cannot solve dependencies by itself. In the example below, the user tried to install a package for the GIMP image editor, but some dependencies were missing. Okay, so we downloaded the RPM package clearly for Enterprise Linux 7, and we failed because a lot of stuff needs to be installed as well. So that's with the regular I switch, right? It is up to the user to find the RPM packages with the corresponding dependencies and install them. Package managers such as Yum, Zypper, and DNF have tools that can tell you which package provides a specific file. Those will be discussed later in this lesson. To get a list of all installed packages on your system, use the RPM-QA. Think of query all. This lesson is full of a little bit of tips here. So, okay, RPM-QA lists packages installed on our system. To get information about installed package, such as its version number, architecture, installed date, packager, summary, etc., use RPM with the QI parameter followed by the package name. Think of query info. What was the previous one? Query all. Query all for the list and query info for one package. Interesting way to remember. Hello, Iceblade. What's up? Welcome in. RPM-QI unzip. So we're going to see the information about unzip, the name, version release, architecture, install date, which group it belongs to, the size, license, signature, which file was it installed from, build date, build host. Oh, this is interesting. Build host. Relocations, packager, CentOS build system, vendor URL for the where it came from, summary, utility for unpacking zip files, description. So pretty similar to dpkg, deb packages. To get a list of what files are inside an installed package, use the QL parameters. Think of query list followed by the package name. Actually, I would think of query list as something that would give me a list of everything, all of the packages installed on my system. But I suppose this works as well. to get the files that are part of this package, right? Dale Anderson says, I used to think that package meant it included dependencies. Yeah, I don't remember what I was thinking back in the day. I have been working with packages for too long to have an idea how it was in the beginning. I mean in my head, right? If you wish to get information or a file listing from a package that has not been installed yet, just add the -p parameter to the command above, followed by the name of the RPM file. So RPM QI, was it QI? It wasn't, it was QL. Where was QI? For the package information. Okay. QIP. So they aren't offering the explanation such as this one. Think of. There is no think of here to tell me, is this query info package? Okay, query info package, I suppose. Dale Anderson, I will go with package in my head. Quip, RPM-quip, and the Atom editor. Finding out which package owns a specific files. Okay, to find out which installed package owns a file, use the QF, think of query file, followed by the full path to file. Okay, RPM-QF and the path to the file, and it will tell you this package has installed this file. In the example above, the file unzip belongs to unzip package. Yellow dog updater modified. Yum. Yum was originally developed as the yellow dog updater. Yep. A tool for package management on the yellow dog distribution. Over time, it evolved to manage packages on the other RPM-based systems, such as Fedora, CentOS, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, and Oracle Linux. Functionally, it is similar to the apt utility on Debian-based systems, being able to search for, install, update, and remove packages and automatically handle dependencies. Yum can be used to install a single package or to upgrade a whole system at once. In order to install a package, you need to know its name. For this, you can perform a search with yum search pattern, where pattern is the name of the package you're searching for. The result is a list of packages whose name or summary contain the search pattern specified. For example, if you need a utility to handle 7-zip compressed files, you can use yum search 7-zip. So the result looks okay, mirrors. Yeah, okay. So it pulled 7-zip from here. It pulled 7-zip from here, or maybe here as well. But yeah, it's definitely finding us results that are packages that contain this piece of string. Similar to how apt search works. Installing upgrading and removing packages. To install a package using yum use the command yum install package name. Sorry, I'm gonna stop doing that. Yum install package name, where package name is the name of the package. The name of the package. Do I need to type only this or all of this? I suppose only this first part. I don't remember using yum. I did use it for a very short period of time, sometimes long time ago. I just don't remember. I have relatively fresh experience with DNF, but nothing particularly with yum. Just what's in front of the dot. Okay, good. Where package name is the name of the package. Yum will fetch the package and corresponding dependencies from an online repository and install everything in your system. So, okay, there is our answer. Yum install p7 zip, fastest mirror, choosing mirrors, resolving dependencies resolved. The output actually looks a bit like DNF. P7 zip and apparently no dependencies. Okay, to upgrade an installed package, use yum update package name, where package name is the name of the package you want to upgrade. So yum update wget. Okay, and by default it offers you no. If you omit the name of a package, you can update every package on the system for which an update is available. To check if an update is available for a specific package, use yum check update package name. As before, if you omit the package name, yum will check for updates for every installed package on the system. To remove an installed package, use yum remove package name, where package name is the name of the package you wish to remove. Daimler trap regarding OpenMandriva, I don't think it's that easy to, even if you can put yum on it, even if they have it in the repository, I don't think it is a very smart idea to use it, because the developers are using DNF4 to work on their system and they test everything with DNF4. So even if you have installed DNF5, there is a very high chance that DNF5 will not work for you properly just yet. So I'm just saying, and yum will most probably be even worse. Personally, I would stick to DNF4 until the OpenMandriva developers basically make DNF5 as a default tool. You notice they have yum in the repos. I guess they had a reason to have it there, but what I'm saying, if the difference between DNF4 and DNF5 is making such a big difference that some packages don't install with DNF5, then imagine what would it be for some packages if you would use a completely different utility, right? That's what I meant. I am very confident that DNF4 will do all of your package management properly at this point in time, right? And later on, when they switch to DNF5 as a default tool, then you know, I would probably switch then, unless you're helping them to make it work properly on everything, right? I tried to install something with DNF5 and it failed. That's why I'm saying this. And then I just tried the same command with DNF without the number, so DNF4, and then it worked. So I wasn't sure what was going on, but clearly DNF5 is not doing everything in exact same way than DNF4 is doing. In a previous example, we showed an attempt. You're not going to experiment. I mean, I didn't mean that DNF5 will break your system. It's just that I don't know. That's all. I noticed that it cannot install some packages. That's all. So if they if the developers didn't make it default, then I would say they have a reason for that, right? In a previous example, we showed an attempt to install the GIMP image editor, which failed because of unmet dependencies. However, RPM shows which files are missing, but doesn't list the name of the packages that provide them. For example, one of the dependencies missing was libgimpui. To see what package provides it, you can use yum what provides. Okay, now this is a switch that can be thought of as think of it like. Think of the what provides as what provides. Okay, you can use yum what provides followed by the name of the file you are searching for. Yum what provides libgimpui-2.0.so.0, and it will tell you that I guess this package provides it. Before which dot? Before here. I suppose this is the package name. Joseph de Garmo says I have GIMP 3.0 RC1 app image. I think I have RC2. No, I have RC3. Mine is RC3, but it's not app image. The GIMP version 3 is actually a lot better than the last version 2. They fixed a lot of stuff that really nagged me. Really nagged me. For example, when I would type a text on the image and change the color of a text, GIMP would crash. Really nasty bug. They fixed that in version 3. Also, some really neat new functions is, for example, sometimes I do my text sideways on a thumbnail, like vertical text. I just type it for the first time normally, and then I rotate the text, and then I apply shadow on this text, right? And I save it like that. And later, when I need to edit this thumbnail for a similar video, I can just edit this text, and it will, when I finish edit the text, it will reapply the shadow as it was GIMP version 3. GIMP version 2 wasn't able to do that. In GIMP version 2, when I would edit my sideways text with shadow, it would bring it back as horizontal, and it would remove the shadow completely, so I would have to reapply everything. Dale Anderson asks, do you download directly from the GIMP site, or do you have an ultra-modern distro? No, Arch Linux doesn't provide beta stuff. So I have it downloaded from FlatHub. It's Flatpak. See? Joseph says GTK3 has better cross compatibility with all desktops than GTK4 and Qt 6. I did read something about that, but I am not quite able to comment on that. But yeah, you can get GIMP 3 from FlatHub. No problem. You can then install the package with the command yum install gimp libs. Oh, just gimp libs. Okay, so this was a little bit confusing. How far do I have to go into this line in order to be for yum to recognize it as a package name, right? Because on Debian, as far as I know, not always you can just type gimp libs if the package name is like this. Sometimes you have to put the number as well, depending on where the package name ends, right? Mark Carpenter says, going way back in the day, I never understood why some distros moved away from apt to package manager that couldn't tentatively take care of dependencies. Which distros would those be? Joseph says, the last thing we need is GIMP 3 using libadwaita GTK4 and looking like garbage and KDE and mate. Joseph, were you on my stream like 2 days ago when I was talking about how I use KDE and how I don't like libadwaita stuff not fitting in my KDE? And then I think Alexei said that KDE apps don't fit into libadwaita desktop as well. So, the thing is, I would like them to find a common ground somehow. And this common ground shouldn't really be what was the name of the package? What's the name of the program that downloads torrents? The ultra popular one, Transmission, right? So how Transmission handles the user interface design to fit on your desktop. Well, they handle it in a way that the core of the software is actually below the user interface, and then they have two user interfaces, one for GNOME and another one for Plasma. That's how they deal with that, right? So you get to choose which one you want to install, but that's the double the amount of work for the developer, right? So I mean, in terms of user interface. So I'm not sure if that's the ideal way to handle the Linux desktops, because sooner or later you are going to get more desktops, such as the incoming System 76 Cosmic, right? That one will look differently. libadwaita is tightly integrated with GNOME. That's way too much work, making two interfaces. Yeah, it is, but I don't have a solution on how to solve the problem of having unified look on the entire Linux ecosystem, because the way free software works and the way people, the users of the Linux ecosystem and the developers of Linux ecosystem, the way all of them function is that some of them prefer it this way, some of them prefer it that way, and there is no way in hell that you can make them change their mind and do that other way, which they don't like, right? So how do we handle that? How do we give people a chance to have their desktop look and feel as unified as possible? One way is to, stop using KDE completely and tell KDE developers to stop developing everything and let's all switch to GNOME. That's one good way to do it. Another way is tell GNOME users to stop using it and tell them all to switch to Plasma and tell GNOME developers to get lost and close the door. So that's also a way to do it, right? Neither one of these ways is good. Dale Anderson says we shouldn't need a unified look, but unified underlying standards like CSS for HTML. I don't know. I'm not a design expert, but I don't think that you are correct. Demlan Trap says maybe they should build on top of some standards. I don't know. That's also hard to get people to follow some standards. Joseph says I try use a libadwaite applications on Cinnamon and they are stuck on light theme when the desktop is using dark theme. That's actually fixable. Fixable, but you need to change some files manually. Mark says it's my understanding that on some package managers you need to manually add dependencies. Package managers should automatically grab all dependencies on their own. I don't know. DNF and apt are pretty good. So the old ones are what they are, right? They are on the way to stop being relevant. Okay, you can then install the package with the command yum install gimplibs. This also works for files already in your system. For example, if you wish to know where the file hosts came from, you can use yum what provides hosts, and it will tell you that the setup package provides this file. To get information about a package such as its version, architecture, description, size, and more, use yum info package name, where package name is the name of the package you want to information for. So yum info Firefox, it will tell you that it is Firefox version 69. Okay, that's really old. And voila, it came from this repository. Actually, what's the difference between repository and repo? What's the difference between these two? Mark says I'll use GNOME over my dead body. I wouldn't make it that much of a cult out of that. It's just software, right? The problem with GNOME people are trying to they're doing a good job on making things you look and feel right, but they don't play nice with others. So should they have to do that? Well, I suppose not, but it would be nice. If we are welcoming more fragmentation in the Linux ecosystem, that's overall bad in the long run. That's all. So me using KDE and trying my best not to use GTK apps to the best of my abilities is also futile effort and simply not worth it, right? I'm not going to stop using GIMP. It's an excellent software. I'm not going to stop using GIMP because I'm using KDE desktop. That makes no sense. But also, the way libadwaita programs look, I don't know, maybe I'm a bit old school regarding how programs should look. So they maybe look too modern for my taste. At work I use KDE as well, but I use GNOME Evolution email client. And that one really sticks me with a fork into my eye because it looks so differently than everything else that I have. Managing software repositories. For yum, the repos are listed in the directory etc yum repos.d. Each repository is represented by a .repo file, like CentOS-base.repo. Additional extra repositories can be added by the user by adding a .repo file in the directory mentioned above, or at the end of the etc.yum.conf. Okay, so this is really similar to apt. However, the recommended way to add or manage repositories is with the yum config manager tool. To add a repository, use the add repo parameter followed by the URL of the .repo file. Okay, so yum config manager, add repo, and then the URL of the repo. So it will grab a file, it will add it to this folder, and it will tell you that it has saved it. I'm not exactly sure how is this different than downloading this file with wget and putting it there, but if they say this is a preferred way, then I suppose you should do that if you are using yum. But this is unlikely in this year. Joseph tried to make KDE look like Budgie, but the panel toggle button widget is broken on Plasma 527. Where do you have Plasma 527, Joseph? What's that distribution? Debian 12? To get a list of... yeah, okay. To get a list of all available repositories, you use yum repo list all. You will get an output similar to this. So repo and ID, right? Repo name enabled 2500 packages, I suppose. Another repo. So this is repo list all. You think it should be dash all? Well, I don't know. This is from CentOS 7. So I think CentOS 7 was released 10 years ago. So I don't know. Actually, this definitely is CentOS 7. And I know that it was like... no, I'm saying that this command may be correct on CentOS 7. That's what I'm saying. On Fedora 41, it doesn't have to be correct. Disabled repositories will be ignored when installing or upgrading software. To enable or disable a repository, use the yum config manager utility followed by the repository ID. In the output above, the repository ID is shown on the first column, repo ID of each line. Use only the part before the first slash. Okay, Okay. So the ID for the CentOS 7 updates repo is updates and not update/7/x86. So yum config manager -- disable updates. The command above will disable the updates repo. To re-enable it, type --enable. Yum stores downloaded packages and associated metadata in a cache directory, usually var cache yum. As the system gets upgraded, and new packages are installed, this cache can get quite large. To clean the cache and reclaim disk space, you can use the yum clean command. Was the apt clean the exact same command, if I recall correctly? Followed by what to clean. The most useful parameters are packages, yum clean packages. To delete downloaded packages and metadata, yum clean metadata. To delete associated metadata. See the manual page for yum, then type man yum for more information. Okay, we are coming up to the modern age. Any minute now. I must confess that this is a little bit boring, the whole topic of package management, but it's good to understand the overall idea what can you do with package managers, right? And not just install and uninstall, but also get some details and etc., right? So even if we forget all of these commands, you will definitely remember what is possible, and once you start needing one of these possibilities, then you're going to check the manual and it will come back to you. So this is good. DNF is the package management tool. Iceblade, definitely forgetting most of them. Yeah, correct. Daimler Trap, yeah, all those flags I never remember, I just look up when I need them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look up when you need them, but in order to need them, you have to be aware that they exist. Dale Anderson says, maybe boring, but really important for feeling good about control of the computer. That as well. DNF is the package management tool used on Fedora and is a fork of yum. As such, many of the commands and parameters are similar. This section will give you just a quick overview of DNF. Joseph says, every time I use a command on Endeavour OS virtual machine, I accidentally type apt instead of pacman. I actually do the same. I type apt on my Arch Linux and on my Debian I type pacman regularly. Sometimes I type the complete command and press enter. Most of the times I start typing and remember that that's not a command and then I delete it. But occasionally I type the whole command and press enter and wonder why doesn't it work. Can you create aliases? Of course you can, but they won't work because the commands are not the same. For apt install is what pacman-S is. So you can't just replace them so easy. What you could do is on your Arch Linux, you could make a small little script that simply outputs a text in your shell saying, did you mean pacman? Like echo, did you mean pacman? and save that file as apt and make it executable. Or an alias to short script that runs the correct command. But how will you pass the parameters and change them on the fly? I mean, it's possible, but do you want to get that deep, you know? Will Nala work on other package managers besides apt? Nala doesn't work on apt either. Nala works on the underlying engine of the apt system. You know, it's not Nala is like a front end for dpkg, just as apt is. Demland rep is has a good one. You can pass parameters to scripts, of course you can, but I don't think that's what you want to do. I just don't think that that's a good idea in the long run. Forgot how scripts start? Never mind. Okay. Is that okay? That's what I meant. Daimler trap, there is an interesting idea to get one alias package manager to rule them all. I mean, if you want to do it, I'm sure there will be Linux users who will want to use your helper tool, right? Maybe they will like it so much that they will install it by default on every distribution. I mean, this distributions might adopt it, right? Maybe you can make your own version of the package manager, which will not actually package anything. It will just call the correct commands on the correct operating system, but the commands will be the same on every system, right? So maybe not copy the pacman commands, maybe not copy the apt commands, maybe not copy DNF commands, but rather make your own and make your own call the actual ones that are currently installed on the system. Package kit exists. Yeah, so there you have it. I didn't even know that. Package kit is a free and open source suite of software applications designed to provide a consistent and high level abstraction layer for a number of different package management systems. PackageKit was created in 2007. You guys are very much late. And first introduced into an operating system as a default application in the next year with Fedora 9. The suite is cross-platform, though it is primarily targeted at Linux distribution, which follow the interoperability standards set out by the Free Desktop group. It uses the software libraries provided by the dbus and Polkit project to handle inter-process communication and privilege negotiation respectively. So this is a lot more advanced than I proposed a minute ago. PackageKit, seeks to how is this happening? PackageKit seeks to introduce automatic updates without having to authenticate as root, fast user switching warnings translated into the correct locale, and etc. No major features have been developed for 11 years. Interesting. So I suppose it is a relatively undesirable project. apt backend for PackageKit. Blog post. Blogs GNOME.org. PackageKit is dead. Long live, well, something else. It's probably no surprise to many of you that PackageKit has been in maintenance mode for quite some time, although started over 10 years ago. It has not really had active maintenance since 2014. Of course, I have been merging PRs and have been slinging tarballs over the wall every few months, but nothing new was happening with the project. Useful as a retrospective. Canonical seems to be going in all in on snaps. I don't personally think of .deb files as first-class citizens on Ubuntu anymore, which is no bad thing. Okay, that's his opinion. Snaps and flatpaks are better than packages for Snaps and Flatpaks are better than packages for desktop software in almost every way. Okay, interesting take. Fedora is concentrating on modularity and is joining with most of the other distros with a shared Flatpak and FlatHub future and seems to be thriving because of it. Of course, I'm missing out a lot of other distros, but from a statistic point of view, they are unfortunately not terribly relevant. Arch users are important, but they are also installing primarily on the command line, not using an abstraction layer or GUI. Fedora is also marching towards an immutable base image using RPM OS 3 containers and Flatpaks, and then PackageKit isn't only not required, but doesn't actually get installed at all in Fedora Silver Blue. Hugsy. Interesting conversation. Finally managed to get all the major distribution to care about PackageKit. Yeah. Okay. So 6 years later, and Flatpaks and snaps still don't work as well as native packages do. Alexis says it is still widely used. Say GUI software stores are using it. KDE Discover and GNOME software. Yeah, I guess I always thought that KDE Discover actually integrates into the apt system if it is if it detects Debian, or into the RPM system or DNF system if it detects Fedora underlying. But this makes sense more that it is using actually the package kit. So interesting new perspective, which I wasn't aware of. But does package kit support Pacman? From what I understand here, it doesn't support Pacman. The reason why I asked, because I tried KD Discover on. Actually, I have it installed. It doesn't work on Arch, and the reason why it doesn't work, I thought the reason was that Discover doesn't support Pacman. So this is Flatpak here. Well, this is everything that Discover does on my system. It does FlatHub and firmware updates. Nothing else. No Pacman here. You can't do the Pacman thing. So DNF on Fedora, it is a fork of Yum, and as such, many of the commands and parameters are similar to Yum. This section will give you just a quick overview of DNF. Searching for packages, DNF search pattern. For example, DNF search unzip will show all of the packages that contain the word unzip in the name or description. Wiki says Pacman is supported. In that case, I don't know why it doesn't work. Maybe I need to install something. Cockpit package kit. Cockpit user interface for packages. This sounds like a program for package installations. GNOME package kit. System does. Okay, package kit Qt 6. I guess the support needs to be installed. Well, the more you know. Let's go with this and this. Okay. Support for managing packages from Arch Linux is incomplete. You may experience any number of problems. Do not report bugs to KDE. It is highly recommended to uninstall the package kit and use Discover only to manage Flatpaks. Okay. Arch Linux maintainers recommend instead using the pacman command line. Okay. Joseph said pacman should work. Yeah, but when the discover tells you, gives you a warning sign, do not use this, then, well, then I will not use it. Because clearly they are not going to support me if I report any bugs. I just wanted to understand, because I wasn't really aware that Discover uses PackageKit for this. I actually thought that Discover implements support for the package system. Oh, I thought you said pacman. Pamac should work, the software manager from Manjaro. I actually remember some kind of GUI software from Manjaro, but I did use Manjaro really shortly, and that was like 5 years ago, the last time I tried Manjaro. But would you install Manjaro software on Arch Linux? I don't see why. DNF search pattern, okay. DNF info package name to get information about package. DNF install package name to install the package, right? You can find the name by performing a search. DNF remove the package. DNF upgrade package, or omit the package name to upgrade the entire system. Finding out which package provides a specific file. DNF provides file name. Getting a list of all the packages installed in the system. DNF list -- installed. Listing the contents of a package. DNF repo query. Okay, this one is a bit harder to remember. The contents of a package. DNF repo query. So there is no easy way to remember this word except for having experience, right? Contents of a package. Repo query -l and package name. Joseph says Pamac is available in the user repository. Yeah, but that's not Arch Linux. That's the user repository for Arch Linux. I love it when people properly use sarcasm without defaulting to ending their sentence with /s. I'm kind of annoyed with modern /s culture. Just to be on the safe side that the other side doesn't get offended, I'm going to tell them that this is sarcasm, right? And then all the fun is gone when you place /s at the end of your sarcasm. So kudos to those who don't use /s at the end. Manjaro has always been a broken mess for me. I've heard things like that, but I don't have proper experience with Manjaro. I only tried it superficially. Garuda, never tried it. Okay, list the contents of a package one more time. DNF repo query -l package name. DNF repo query DNF repo query -l package name. Okay, now I have remembered because I said it out loud 3 times. DNF has built-in help system which shows more information such as extra parameters for each command. To use it, type DNF help followed by the command like DNF help install. Managing software repositories. Just as with Yum and Zypper, DNF works with software repository repos. Each distribution has a list of default repositories, and administrators can add or remove repos as needed. To get a list of all available repositories, use dnf repo list. To list only enabled repositories, add the -- enabled option. And to the list only disabled repositories, add the -- disabled option. Okay, dnf repo list lists the repositories in a similar way to what yum did above. To add a repository, use dnf config manager -- add underscore repo and then the URL. Okay, so with the underscore sign, I don't necessarily agree. I think this is I don't know. If I was designing this, I would skip the underscore stuff. This could have been called just add repo as one word. But that's just my passing comment. Del Anderson, maybe that's because you don't have anything disabled. Did you try -- disabled to only to get no output? Mark says, start this install again with my slow internet. I was trying to install Debian unstable without updating first. That crashed hard. Doing this on a Butterfile system, so it will be more time in BusyBox. I have no idea what you're doing, Mark Carpenter. You were trying to switch to unstable. You mean upgrade, not install, but upgrade from stable to unstable. Okay. But I don't think that you should necessarily update your stable to the latest version of stable if you want to switch to unstable. That doesn't sound like something that should be required. Iceblade is asking, can you just go from stable to unstable? Yeah, you can, Iceblade. You can do that with basically one or two commands. You just need to replace, you go to apt sources file, and where it says bookworm, you replace that with sid. And I think you need to remove the security updates. I'm not entirely sure about that, but if you leave all of the lines in the apt sources and replace all of the bookworms with all of the SIDs, then apt update will tell you which ones do not exist in SID. And I think it is security updates, because those are the SID works differently regarding that topic. So then you will have to remove the lines that are not needed, and then you just do the dist upgrade, apt dist upgrade. I believe that is all, but you can check online for the correct procedure. Maybe I have forgot one more command. Halfway through the update, it failed. Mark, have you been doing the dist upgrade in the graphical user interface or in the TTY console? Because you shouldn't be doing that in the graphical user interface. Maybe it didn't fail because of that, but upgrading the entire system within the graphical user interface will replace your graphical user interface for a new one, and that's a bad thing for you to do. You need to go to TTY. Upgrading Ubuntu to the next version can sometimes be a mess. Ubuntu did a relatively good thing with updates. Basically, they don't offer you an update before they consider it ready. And usually that's, I don't know exactly what the timeline is, but usually that's like a month after official release. You cannot upgrade to the next one. You can if you force the upgrade, but if you just go to their upgrade manager, it will tell you that there is nothing to upgrade to, and that lasts for roughly a month until they are sure that it is safe to offer the update to people. Demland Trap says upgrade almost never work. I just go to new fresh release. Are you talking about Debian or Ubuntu now? Because with Ubuntu I have had good experience with upgrading. If they do any errors regarding their upgrade script, usually they fix it until they allow you to update without forcing the update, right? So if you stick to their timeline and never force the update, you should be good, but you never know. I didn't use Ubuntu for quite a while, so I shouldn't be really giving my opinion, because it sounds like I have recent experience with Ubuntu, which is incorrect. Mark says, thank you, was on TTY on this computer. Upgrading KDE Neon to 2404 base borks many users' installations. Well, KDE Neon, I don't know how well maintained that is. That's not Ubuntu, and KDE team doesn't seem to put too much effort into that. So I don't even consider KDE Neon as something that I would recommend to anyone ever. It seems more like a Plasma demo operating system than something that you should use, at least from my perspective. I don't know. Maybe for your enemies. Also, KDE is switching from Ubuntu to Arch Linux now, so I think that KDE Neon will be gone. Well, Kubuntu is much more stable because that's actually Ubuntu, while KDE Neon is not. I mean, I suppose you know what I mean by that, right? Canonical has nothing to do with KDE Neon. Okay, to add repository, use DNF config manager add repo URL, where URL is the full URL to the repository. To enable a repository, use DNF config manager, set enabled repo ID. Am I the only one here, or does this sound more complex than apt? I mean more complex than it has to be. I mean, with apt you can also add new repositories and enable them, disable them. Maybe I'm just not used to these commands. Likewise, to disable a repository, use dnf config manager -- set disabled and then repo ID. In both cases, repo ID is the unique ID for the repository, which you can get using dnf repo list. Added repositories are enabled by default. Repositories are stored in the repo files in the directory yum repos.d with exactly the same syntax used for yum. So DNF uses a folder that's called yum. Interesting. I wasn't expecting this in DNF. Zypper is the package management tool used on SUSE, Linux, and OpenSUSE. Feature-wise, it is similar to apt and yum, being able to install, update, and remove packages from a system with automated dependency resolution. Updating the package index. Like other package management tools, Zypper works with repositories containing packages and metadata. This metadata needs to be refreshed from time to time so that the utility will know about the latest packages available. To do a refresh, simply type Zypper refresh. All repositories have been refreshed. Zypper has an auto refresh feature that can be enabled on a per repository basis, meaning that some repos may be refreshed automatically before a query or a package installation, and others may need to be refreshed manually. You will learn how to control this feature shortly. To search for a package, use the search or SE operator followed by the package name. Zypper SE numeric. Okay, so then we are going to get a list of packages that are aligned with this string. The search operator can also be used to obtain a list of all of the installed packages in the system. To do so, use the -i parameter without a package name, as in Zypper search -i. To see if a specific package is installed, add the package name to the command above. For example, the following command will search among the installed packages for any containing Firefox in the name. So Zypper search -i for the installed, and it will tell us what Firefoxes do we have installed. Del Anderson says yum is an alias to DNF, and DNF is an alias to DNF5 on Fedora. Okay. To search only among non-installed packages, add the -u parameter to the search operator. Okay, installing, upgrading, and removing. To install a software package, use the install or in operator followed by the package name. So Zypper install unrar, and it will be installed. No dependencies required. Zypper can also be used to install an RPM package on disk while trying to satisfy its dependencies, using packages from the repositories. To do so, just provide the full path to the package instead of a package name, like Zypper install and this RPM package. To update packages installed on the system, use Zypper update. As in the installation process, this will show a list of packages to be installed, upgraded before asking if you want to proceed. If you wish to only list the available updates without installing anything, you can use Zypper list updates. To remove a package, use the remove or rm operator followed by the package name. Zypper rm unrar and the package is gone. Keep in mind that removing a package also removes any other packages that depend on it. For example, removing the GIMP library will also remove the GIMP as well. Joseph has to go. See you later, man. Iceblade missed what Zypper is for. Yum, DNF, Zypper, and the old school RPM. These are all package managers that that work with repositories like apt. It's just that Zypper is the one from OpenSUSE, but it also works with RPM packages. Finding which packages contain a specific file. To see which packages contain a specific file, use the search operator followed by the provides parameter and the name of the file, or full path to it. For example, if you want to know which package contains the file libgimp module, you would use Zypper se provides and this path to the full file. To see the metadata associated with a package, use the info operator followed by the package name. This will provide you with the origin repository, package name, version, architecture, vendor, installed size, if it is installed or not, the status, if it is up to date, the source package, and the description. So Zypper info gimp, really simple command. It will tell you main repository, name, version, architecture, how much it was installed, is it installed, was it installed, I don't know what this means automatically, maybe it has been pulled by another package, it is up to date regarding to the repository, this was the source package, and the description. Managing software repositories. Zypper can also be used to manage software repositories. To see a list of all the repositories currently registered in your system, use Zypper repos and you will get a list. Repository priorities are without effect. All enabled repositories share the same priority. OpenSUSE lib, repo debug, repo non-OSS, OSS, repo source, update, enabled, GPG check. See in the enabled column that some repositories are enabled while others are not. You can change this with the modify repo operator followed by the -e enable or -d disable parameter and the repository alias, the second column in the output above. Second column, so that's this. So Zypper modify repo -d disable repo non-OSS and then enable repo non-OSS. Adele says that's a more profound question than you think. Someone should compile why each package manager was developed, the need they satisfy. I have a comment on that after we finished with Zypper. Previously we mentioned that Zypper has an auto refresh capability that can be enabled on a per repository basis. When enabled, this flag will make Zypper run a refresh operation, the same as running Zypper refresh before working with the specified repo. This can be controlled with the F and capital F parameters on the modify repo operator. So the automatic refresh is now disabled, and with the low caps F is now enabled. So you can just query packages directly if you do this, and you don't have to refresh it. It will auto refresh every time. Iceblade assumed it did more. Well, this is one of the things that it obviously does more unless the DNF5 can do something that this PDF doesn't cover. To add a new software repository for Zypper, use the add repo operator followed by the repository URL and repository name, like below. Zypper add repo, pacman inode add suse and pacman. Adding repository pacman added, enabled GPG check auto refresh priority, which apparently is irrelevant. While adding a repository, you can enable auto updates with the -f parameter. Added repositories are enabled by default, but you can add and disable a repository at the same time by using the -d parameter to disable it immediately after adding it, or the -f to immediately make it auto refresh on each use. To remove a repository, use the remove repo operator followed by the repository name. To remove the repository added in the example above, the command would be Zypper remove repo pacman. We're actually done. Good. Let's leave it on this page for a moment. We'll get back to the questions soon enough. My first impression on these package managers, without having too much experience with them, I would actually say that I like Zypper a little bit more than Yum and DNF, because if DNF was forked from Yum, and Yum is based on whatever it's called, the one that came before that one, and all three of them are pretty much similar, then it begs the question of what Dale Anderson says. Why is it that they exist, right? So I suppose they have to. I suppose Fedora had wanted to add some more features, but didn't want to add them into Yum. But they wanted their own package manager, so they simply based it on an existing solution and forked it. So I don't know, to have more power, I suppose. I think it kind of feels like they want to have more power because with open source and free software, nothing really is stopping you from contributing to, let's say, Yum. But then again, maybe Yum maintainers didn't want to accept patches from Red Hat and Fedora people, so that could be very much true, without even looking up to what the actual truth is, right? I'm just spinning some possible explanations, without reading. But Zypper seems like having a little bit easier syntax to remember. That's all. And I kind of like the auto refresh feature. This may actually make me to give OpenSUSE a try, because I never really tried that distribution. Maybe it's a good one to give it a try, to see how that works. A current example of power struggle is the Rust in the kernel controversy. I don't think that's comparable, but I see your point. Why it's not comparable in my head? Because that's one project, right? And people inside one project are not friends with each other. While with DNF, it's two separate companies, two separate projects. DNF is a Yum rewrite. DNF was written in Python and was quite slower. Oh, you mean yum is written in Python, and DNF4 was partially rewritten in C, and now it's full C. Okay. I knew that DNF5 was rewritten, but I didn't know that the DNF4 was also partially there. I feel like all of the distributions made by companies simply want to differentiate themselves. Maybe that's not valid for Canonical because they simply adopted the existing apt, but now they have a snap, so they went even further than Red Hat and SUSE did with their package managers. Dale Anderson says, I see Zypper is a package on Fedora. Would that be a bad thing to install? In my opinion, yes. But my reasoning is that if your distribution is giving you a default package manager, then use that one. If you use another one, then it's on you to deal with any potential issues that come out of that. I mean, I don't really see a reason why would you use a different package manager than the default one, because it will add unnecessary complexities to maintaining your system. The craziest one is probably Alt Linux. They use apt with RPM packages. Ah, interesting. But SUSE also supports apt. No, apt, I mean deb packages, right? I believe I have read that OpenSUSE supports Debian packages. To a certain degree, of course. You think no? Then maybe they have a built-in converter tool or something like that. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, using RPM on a Red Hat Enterprise Linux system, how would you install the package file roller showing a progress bar during the installation? I actually remember this switch. Thank you, Iceblade and Alexei. How would you install this file on Red Hat showing a progress bar during the installation? Well, Dale Anderson is correct because -I is install and H is the progress bar. But I think Daimler Trap is going to give us a more accurate answer in regards to what the exercise is expecting to be an actual answer. I think Dale Anderson has answered correctly, but I also think that the even more correct answer in the exercise will be IVH. V is just verbose. I hate when apps use H parameter for anything else other than help. So Dale Anderson, dash V is not necessary to answer this question. I'm just betting, nothing else. I'm just betting that the actual answer will be IVH. That's all. Just my bet. Using RPM, find out which package contains the file. Red Hat release. Okay, now this one I did not remember. I agree with Dale Anderson. I agree. If the multiple answers test would give me both IV and IVH, I would be in serious trouble. Iceblade thinks it's dash L. RPM QQ. It's not QQ. Definitely. Okay, now we are getting somewhere. QF. So query file, right? I think you're correct. But we are going to find out from the answers. Okay, QF sounds reasonable. How? Yeah. How would you use yum to check for updates for all packages in the system? Iceblade says query packages. Dale Anderson is spot on. Check update. Iceblade, those little switches that start with dash Q, those are for RPM, not for yum. Yum uses like whole words. But yeah, Dale Anderson has answered what I consider to be correct. Of course, I'm never 100% sure, but to the best of my memory, it is correct. Using Zypper, how would you disable a repository called repo extras? Damland Trap says Zypper modify repo -d. Sorry, I have sharp pain again. Give me a second. I think I'll be good for now, but I think I need to move around more. How would you disable a repository called repo extras? And then you said -d for disable repo extras. I don't think that -d repo extras is correct. I think a word is missing. A whole word is missing, in my opinion. It was something like Zypper. Wasn't it something like Zypper repo? Demlan Trap said it. Modify repo. Sorry, I read everything below my text. Apologies. Demlan Trap is correct. Then why did Iceblade type after Demlan Trap the wrong one? I don't know. If you have a .repo file describing a new repository, where this file should be put so that is recognized by DNF? The answer to this question is the weirdest one in the entire lesson, in my opinion. Demlan Trap to the rescue. Etc yam repos d. That's a correct one, although very weird, if you ask me. Maybe there is a reason. Maybe there is a backwards compatibility reason why the folder is called yum for the DNF. But yeah, Demlan Trap is correct. That was the easiest to remember because how awkward it was. Yeah, there is probably a backwards compatibility reasoning behind this, but still kind of funny. Let's explore. How would you use Zypper to find out which package owns the file swap on? Okay, this one I also don't remember. Zypper, something like who owns this? Which I don't remember the exact word that Zypper used for this. What repo? Could be, yeah. Could be. Yeah, I think Iceblade is. I can't answer. It is. How would you use Zypper to find out which package owns swap on file? So Dell says Zypper provides. But I don't think that Zypper. Has. When you say Zypper, I don't think that second word can start with dash. It's always I think it's always a word and then some more switches, like if you need them. I'll buy that. Del Anderson says, buy what? More switches? The dash. I guess we're going to find out. I don't think we have the correct answer to this one in the chat. But do remember what you all guys said, because I'm going to forget when we get to the answers. How can you get a list of all installed packages in the system using DNF? This one is actually something that I did manage to remember. No dash, Iceblade. Yeah. That one is correct. List dash dash installed. Using DNF, what is the command to add a repository located at this URL? Trap on fire, yeah. Well, he does use a DNF distribution, so he has advantage over me on that one. Using DNF, what is the command to add this repository listed on the screen? Nice try, Iceblade. It's not. Your attempt is too logical. Package managers are not supposed to be that easy. While True Do End is now back on stream and is at odds with the fact that we are still doing the same lesson as 2 hours ago. Yeah, we always do just one lesson in one day. What is the command to add a repository? The command was DNF yeah, okay. What Demland's trap said sounds correct to me. I remember being annoyed by the underscore. Yeah, I think you're correct with the underscore. Stupid underscore in that word. Yeah, the URL comes at the end, yes, but that's not what the that's not the problematic part. Problematic part is what comes before the URL, right? You just put the URL at the end. How can you use Zypper to check if the package unzip is installed? I believe this was Zypper info unzip. Yeah, Demland Trap says the same thing. I think we have an agreement on this one. Using yum, find out which package provides the file the get. This could be yum provides, isn't it? What provides? Okay. Which provides? What provide? I think what provides. Sounds better. Okay. How do you install a file showing a progress bar during installation? Okay, so it's good. They did not. They did not trick us with the verbose thing. So they are actually. They actually have given an answer which corresponds. Yeah. Okay, so the logic has prevailed here. Don't listen to while true do end one. Using RPM, find out which package contains the file. So query file. Query file. Thank you for the warning. Thank you for the warning. Okay, query file. Iceblade, don't fall onto while true do end provocation. How would you use yum to check for updates for all packages in the system? I don't remember that we have answered it like this. I mean, you guys in chat. Ah, you did tell. Okay, I forgot. Sorry. Using Zypper, how would you disable a repository called repo extras? Okay, so modify repo -d. The thing is, I have remembered the switch -d, but I forgot this word. I remember that there must be a word behind Zypper, although you say that not always are words, but anyways, modify repo -d, and then, yeah, what you said, -e to enable. If you have a repo file describing the new repository, where this file should be put so that it is recognized by DNF. So the answer was etc yum conf d. Oh, yum repos d, sorry. Well, you said repos, didn't you? Okay, explorational ones. How would you use Zypper to find out which package owns the file swap on? Oh, did I tell you that it doesn't start with dash? It has to be a word. So Zypper search and then what provides? Provides. Zypper doesn't put dashes after this word. Yeah, you forgot SE, and I forgot SE as well, but I did remember that there is something here. So SE is short for search. You can also put search instead of SE. Okay, how can you get a list of all installed packages in the system using DNF? And then Trap said DNF list installed, right? Why use one argument when you can have three? Yeah. DNF list installed was the correct one. Using DNF, what is the command to add a repository located to the system? Yeah, so you said DNF config manager dash dash add underscore repo. So that was the contention, whether or not to put the underscore, and I did remember that underscore was there, but you did the rest. You did the rest, definitely. How can you use Zypper to check if the package unzip installed? This is what I have answered completely wrong. But I don't remember anyone else answering it correctly and telling me that I'm wrong. Search again, yeah. Nobody answered this one, right? Except me giving a completely wrong answer. Using yum, find out which package provides the file get. So what was it that we... Daemon Trap, I had no clue for this one. Well, yeah. What did we answer for finding out which package provides the file get? You guys have answered this one with what provides, and then you said which provides, and then you said what provides. Demlan Trap said QF, but QF is for RPM. Yeah, so it was definitely what provides. Yep. Before the stream, I was thinking whether I should install Fedora for hands-on for this lesson, but it seems that only CentOS 7 would help us for this lesson to get some hands-on. Maybe. Then it upgraded, but after the upgrade, it didn't allow you to log in. And then you had to reboot it, and then the login worked. Fedora has DNF too, yeah, correct. Let's see what awaits soon. Oh, something interesting. I genuinely don't read this document before I go live. I'm kind of looking forward to this. Actually, I wasn't expecting this to have number one for this topic. Maybe it's just an introduction topic, and that's why it's one. I like virtual machines. The upgrade took about a third the time of the installation. After only 1 week, seems to move rapidly, perhaps. Fedora doesn't move rapidly. Maybe they just have a lot of packages to fix, right? I mean, it's a frozen it's a frozen distribution. Nothing is really moving except you're getting new kernels when they release. Fedora gives you every new kernel version, so from that perspective, I suppose, yeah, something moves, but the general packages don't. Dell says I couldn't get DNF commands listed in lesson to work on Fedora. I suppose probably used user error or deprecated. Fedora is also updating desktops, even core libraries. As far as I know, Fedora doesn't update GNOME to a new version, but are you saying that it is updating the dot versions of desktop to the next one? I mean, if it ships with, I don't know, GNOME 48, it stays on GNOME 48, but maybe minor versions, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Del Anderson says I have KDE Plasma 6.3 version Fedora. .6.3 version Fedora, but Fedora came out in the when the last GNOME was released, so somewhere roughly October, and Plasma 6.3 is very fresh, like 1 month old. So they are updating Plasma. Even the I would call this relatively big up. I mean, I don't know how to call this. When the second number in the KDE is not really a small one. It's not always a small change. So if they are updating KDE from 6.2 to 6.3, that's kind of good. You get new stuff. .6.3.2, yeah. Okay. That's the last one. Fedora is kinda in between release and full rolling. That's an interesting perspective, since they get all of the latest kernels, all of the latest desktops. I mean, if you update from Fedora to the next Fedora, which is probably what you're going to do, because you will otherwise lose support, then you're almost rolling. I mean, it's good if you want new software. Tumbleweed like slow rolling? You mean like delayed rolling? I never tried SUSE. Not once. Daryl Anderson says occasionally it will boot up to strangeness, but a reboot resolves. Haven't bothered to diagnose why. I assume NVIDIA drivers or something. Dale Anderson, I have had the exact same problem with 2 different versions of Fedora. And this is that my Fedora would always boot up properly to the login screen where I would type my password and login. And I'm talking about default GNOME GNOME version. And when the day comes when I would do the update, by default it does updates offline, right? First downloads the updates, then reboots into the update mode, and then updates the system, and then reboots back into the operation mode, right? And every time after the OS update, and I'm not talking about major Fedora update, I'm talking about normal updates. Every time after the update, when it would reboot to the GNOME login screen, there would be no login screen. I would only have the button on the top right to reboot, I suppose, but no way to log in into the system via the graphical user interface. And then I would reboot, and then it would work all the time until the next update. And on the next update, then I would have the same problem again. And I thought it was a bug that they're working on. And then I installed the next version of Fedora when it came out, and it still had the exact same issue. Demlin Trap did SUSE on collage. Alexei Shilin says, and new bugs. For example, new KDE has a nasty session crash issue when enough monitors are connected. Quite a few people are affected. Alexei, I have a problem with new KDE. See where my mouse is. When I would click on this speaker icon here, usually I would click it, and then a pop-up would come out that would let me choose which audio device I'm currently using, right? So I have two audio devices that I frequently switch. One audio device is powering my headphones, and another audio device is my TV. So when I'm listening to music and something like, usually I use the TV speakers, relatively quiet. I don't want headphones on my head unless I really want to isolate myself. And when I want to isolate myself, then I switch to headphones. Usually when I work on my video editing. But this is how I do it, right? Usually I would just click on this little speaker, and it will give me an option to switch between interfaces. And since the last update, this no longer works. Yeah, I know, but it's not my fault. This used to work previously. Actually, this used to work from the day I can remember. This is a completely new bug. Yeah, so this one works now. But I don't remember when this one even showed up, because I have had this bug for a month now. Okay, the left one works. Great. Why doesn't the right one work? Can I quit it? I don't want to quit anything during the stream. Del Anderson says that Zoran missed a lot. No, that's incorrect. Zoran missed everything. Iceblade is asking, are different programs using sound? Why is that even a question? Linux has had support for different programs using the sound card at the same time for a very, very long time. Demlin Trap says that Zoran missed yum time. Del Anderson says, I have a similar problem in Windows. Okay, I don't want to read that. I mean the icon bug. Well, look, applications. These are the applications that are using the sound at the moment. Demlan Trap says widget system in KDE very buggy. Well, to be fair towards KDE, right? Everything is buggy. Everything is buggy in KDE. So Iceblade says like instead of a program icon, double icon instead, but you confirmed the opposite earlier. Okay. Alexis says I think it's not a bug. You can safely quit the other one. If the stream results in issues because of this, it is what it is. Let's quit the other one. Are you sure you want to quit Kmix? Yes. Okay. I see that we are still live. We will see after reboot how it behaves. You want me to remove Kmix, but I use it. I use it to switch sound cards. Start. Let's see if this is something I can fix. Why is this even here? Oh, I remember when I had this installed. That was a long time ago. Desktop session. Start with an empty session. I don't know, there is no proof that 2K mixes should start up, but we will see after reboot. Both not K-mix. Ah. Interesting. Okay. Didn't even realize that. But I think I have the same problem on the laptop. You're not telling me that I have did the exact same stupidity on two computers. It's possible. It's possible. I be stupid sometimes like that. I'm gonna check on my laptop if I did the exact same stupidity over there. These two computers have one thing in common. Well, two things in common. One is the operating system and another thing is me. I mean the user. Demlan Trap, I think we fixed the problem and it was how do you call it? Pebcats. So this was probably the resolution of my problem, right? Pebcats. Have you ever heard of this one? Oh, I didn't find the solution. Alexei did. Kmix is a part of one of the packages on Arch, definitely, and I installed two of them. Pacman S Plasma Meta. So nothing here. Let's try without meta. All. It's not telling me what is missing. I thought if I run this command again that it will tell me what is missing and what is going to install, but Pacman is a little bit stupid. Pacman will just reinstall everything. You know, apt usually tells you these packages are already installed, so I'm just gonna skip them and install only what is missing. But Pacman will reinstall everything. We can do it like this. Plasma meta, show more. There is no commix in Plasma meta. However, Plasma. Oh, sorry, Plasma applications. Plasma applications. No, it's KDE applications, sorry. KDE applications. Default. Once again, it will not tell me what is missing. KDE applications. Oh, KDE applications meta. Interesting. So this pulls. Okay, let's go to multimedia then. Kmix. Yeah, there it is. Now, we can play around with Pacman, but there is your answer. KDE applications is the meta package that pulled Kmix. Demland Trap says there was no Pacman or Pamac lesson. Nope. There wasn't. I don't think there will be. There is no word or string Pacman in the entire PDF. Dell says apparently Arch doesn't count as professional. I like Pacman installer interface. Pacman progress bar. Alexis says, by the way, Kmix seems broken. It should open a pop-up with volume slider on left click. Ouch. They dislike Arch there. In the Linux Professional Institute? Nah. It's just that Arch Linux is for enthusiasts. It's not... I don't know how to categorize Arch. It's a weird little distribution. I would categorize it as enthusiast distribution, but clearly they are evolving. So I don't know what to say. It's a fun distro, not a good one. Well, this is Arch Linux, so say what you will. I mean, in theory, Valve could have put something else on this one, but apparently they thought that Arch is a good fit. Not a production. Well, it's a machine that gives them business, so it's definitely not a. Okay. You got your point. This is a fun machine, and it uses a fun operating system or fun distro. You got it right. It's a fun machine. But this fun machine actually does produce money for a certain company, so it actually should work properly. So they can't make it, not work. Actually, Iceblade, I have noticed that people who say this statement, I use Arch by the way, I kind of noticed that not all of them use Arch. Quite a lot of them actually use derivatives which install with graphical user interfaces and not actually Arch Linux. So I'm not sure if they should be even saying this, this sentence. They can just add RTFM, redefine manual. Well, it's a joke, so they all gotta say it at some point. But if you're using Endeavor OS, then you can't say I use Arch, by the way. Clearly, you should say I use Endeavor OS, by the way. You can't skip, how do I put it? You can't skip the accountability of using a different distribution and then claiming, if you use Debian, you can't say I use Ubuntu. It's not the same. Yeah, but Endeavor has a graphical user interface, so the most difficult part of Arch Linux for a newcomer is how to install it. So you have to open the wiki and you have to copy paste a bunch of commands, and this is difficult. It's easier to just click next. I'm just saying, it's not actually difficult, but people don't want to type commands, and they do want the bragging rights of using Arch Linux. So that's why they go with Endeavor. Daemon Trap, they do have a Python install script, but I would beg to how do you say it in English? I think the Python install script is not for beginners, but actually for advanced Arch users. If one is using Linux Mint Debian Edition, I would be okay with them saying that they use Debian. Well, solid point there. Iceblade, no. The Arch Linux doesn't have a next GUI. They do have, well, it's a kind of a not GUI but TUI interface. They have TUI interface, text user interface. I don't think it is in. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't exist on the actual installation, only on the install medium. Oh, you can actually install it. Let's go ahead. Let's see how fast can we break the system. Middle of the stream. Let's install Arch inside Arch. Yes. I just wanted to show Iceblade what it looks like. So basically, you boot up the 1 GB stick that is Arch installer, and then you type Arch install to, well, run this text user interface. And then you go ahead through these options, and when you're done, you go, and that's it. Install, save configuration. I guess that's why they have this one in the repository, so that you can save the configuration and send it to your stick. Use best effort default partition layout. This is good for new people that don't know what partitioning is. But you still have to understand the word partitioning, right? Arch install, I would say it's good for people who know something. Basically, you have to understand what all these words mean. But I also think that Arch install script is much more suited not for new people, but for advanced Arch users, because once you are very familiar with Arch and you keep installing it to a lot of computers, then you simply don't want this hassle, So maybe then you can use the Arch install because you're tired of typing all of the same commands all the time. If you're doing a lot of Arch installs, right? Iceblade said great entertainment if something happens. Yeah. I think I have seen the Arch install script, but don't remember. For me, there is only few real Linux distros. Most of them are just app preferential packages. But well, yeah, that's what Linux is. Iceblade. So what is LTS? I heard people brag about that too. You probably meant LFS, Linux from scratch. Linux from scratch is kind of a distribution, but not really. It gives you an opportunity to decide on a lot more things than Arch Linux allows you, right? Maybe we can check their website just for funsies. There, let them explain themselves. Oh, I have been in full screen the entire time. So you didn't actually see me install Arch install, right? Okay, I need to stop switching screens. Okay, just for funsies, this is Arch install. Install language, locales, right? Locale encoding. Choose your mirror region. This configuration, partitioning, use best effort, default partition layout, manual partitioning, pre-mounted configuration, swap, bootloader, unified kernel images. Actually, I didn't know that Arch can do this. Interesting. I need to research more into this. Root password, user account, profile, audio, pipewire, whatever. Kernels, which one do you want? Interesting that Zen is here. Isn't Linux Zen in Arch user repository? Or maybe it's in extras. Yeah, it's in extras. Sorry, my bad. Adele Anderson, yeah, this is Arch install. Network configuration, copy ISO, network configuration to installation, manual, use network manager. Do you want additional packages? You have to type them. You have to type their names. Optional repositories, multilib if you use Steam. Well, that's it. That's it. You can save the configuration and reuse it, or you can just press install and go ahead with this. So that would be pretty much what Arch install is when you use the script. Unified kernel image is a single executable which can be booted directly from UEFI firmware or automatically sourced by bootloaders with little to no configuration. It is the combination of UEFI boot like systemd stub, a Linux kernel image, initRD, and further resources in a single UEFI PE file. This file and therefore all these elements can be easily be signed to use with secure boot. Okay, someone did told me that they don't want to try Arch because they need to use Windows, so they cannot use Arch next to Windows because Windows requires a secure boot. But just it turns out that Arch can use secure boot, and also Windows doesn't have to use secure boot. In the entire article, ESP denotes the mount point of FE system partition. So you can get the kernel image inside the EFI partition inside basically the bootloader. It is possible to place unified kernel image in the fallback boot path. Using the fallback boot path avoids the need to explicitly create UEFI boot entry in the NVRAM. Daimler Trap, your last message is incorrect. EFI partitions are as big as you make them. Del Anderson, where does it save if you are installing over it? Where does it save? I don't know, maybe to the USB stick from which you are installing. I wouldn't agree that it is usually very small, because if the EFI partition is usually very small, then this means that you're not even doing this entire procedure that is unified kernel image. Because if you're doing this also means that you are in control of how big the EFI partition size is. It is unlikely that you haven't made the decision to make the EFI partition big enough, if you are even doing this, right? So you're not going to do this on Ubuntu. That's what I mean. You're not one of those people who are clicking next. It's your your statement doesn't seem relevant. Mark Arpatida asks, why do we need a GUI? A well-made TUI is much better for installing software. A few repeated finger clicks. Most of the time, the software expectation of a mouse input. Well, I would argue that if you remember previously, before touchscreens, every shop, every merchant, physical one, where you would buy, I don't know, bread and milk and stuff like that, they had these cash registers that were computers, right? And the cash register operators were very, very fast on the keyboard. They usually had a program written in DOS, and all of these DOS animations would open and close really quickly, and all of these women that would operate these cash register, they were really, really, really quick with their fingers, because they have been doing the same thing for a long time, right? And they didn't really necessarily have to even look at the screen. And now they all have touch screens. Apologies. Touch screens and barcode scanners. But yeah, what I wanted to say is that when you get used to a TUI with your fingers, then you get faster with that. But if the save config goes to your USB stick, then you just might as well use it to make multiple same installations, right? But it's not that I install, personally, I don't install Arch. It's not a regular thing to do, right? I have installed Arch a couple of times so far. Once or twice for testing last year, and then once on my main computer, and then maybe another time on a laptop, and one more time on a work laptop. So I guess 5 times in a year. And each time I do the installation, I change a little bit in the installation procedure. Not too much, but I kind of like to go through all of the commands once again. There are now stores that have no workers inside. Yeah, we have some of those here as well. Iceblade remembers the Arch install stream, yeah. With 2 big mistakes that I did. I didn't install Network Manager, and I didn't apply grub. But we fixed both of it. I wanted to go to Linux from scratch when I realized that I wasn't showing the screen. Is a project that provides you with step-by-step instructions for building your own custom Linux system entirely from source code. Currently, the Linux from scratch organization consists of the following sub-projects. Linux from scratch is the main book, the base from which all other projects are derived. Beyond Linux from scratch helps you extend your finished LFS installation into a more customized and actually usable system. Automated Linux from scratch provides tools for automating your builds. Multilib, okay. Gaming on Linux from scratch. Okay, instructions for how to install Steam. Patches. Okay. Linux from scratch teaches people how a Linux system works internally. Building LFS teaches you about all that makes Linux tick, how things work together and depend on each other, and most importantly, how to customize it to your own tastes and needs. This actually sounds very good. As a genuine learning experience. So that's the same document? No, it's not. Similar. Why would I want LFS system? Many wonder why should they go, let's zoom in, why should they go through the hassle of building a Linux system from scratch when they could just download an existing distribution. However, there are several benefits of building LFS. Consider the following. LFS teaches people how a Linux system works internally. Building LFS produces a very compact Linux system. It is not hard to get a working system in under 500 megabytes. Does that still sound like a lot? A few of us have been working on creating an LFS system even smaller. LFS is extremely flexible. Skeleton of a house, but it is up to you to install plumbing, electrical outlets, kitchen, bath, wallpaper, etc. You have the ability to turn it into whatever type of system you need it to be customized completely for you. Offers added security. You will compile the entire system from source, thus allowing you to audit everything if you wish to do so and apply all the security patches you want or need. You don't have to wait for someone else to provide a new binary package that hopefully fixes a security hole. Often, you never truly know whether a security hole is fixed or not unless you do it yourself. What can I do with my LFS system? By the book LFS system is fairly minimal, but it is designed to provide a strong base which you can add any packages you want. See the BLFS project for a selection of commonly used packages. Who is who? Okay. Beyond Linux from Scratch is a project that continues where LFS book finishes. It assists users in developing their system as according to their needs by providing a broad range of instructions for installing and configuring various packages on top of the base LFS system. Why would I want BLFS? If you were wondering why would you want it, then you don't want to be here just yet. You should head over to LFS project homepage where all will be explained. Okay, let's go back. Home. Oh, this goes way back home. Which one is the book? Read online. Ah, so it's the download. Let's read it online. Current stable LFS errata. Security advisory stable LFS book. Forward audience. Let's go to audience. Oh, sorry. There are many reasons why would you want to read this book. One of the questions many people raise is why go through all of the hassle? One important reason for this project existence is to help you learn how a Linux system works from the inside out. Building LFS helps demonstrate what makes Linux tick. Another key benefit, okay, this is the same that already was given in the frequently asked questions. Target architectures. Let's see this. Okay. Prerequisites. Not a simple tasks. Certain level of knowledge of Unix and command line. Okay. LFS and standards. I don't really want to read all of this right now. I just wanted to see how it begins. How to build. Preparing. Hosts building in stages. Creating a new partition. Creating a file system. Mounting partition. All packages needed patches. Final preparations. Toolchain and temporary tools. Compiling a toolchain. Compiling the compiler. I was actually going to get to reading this documentation at some point in the future. I wasn't really planning to do that today. But this is actually very, very interesting. We are going to do this. Yes, we are. Not today, of course. Let me catch up with chat. Iceblade says, source code, would I not have to compile that then? Source code is made to be compiled, yes. Mark Carpenter, I'm making space in the other computer, triple boot, Windows Debian Arch, okay? Demlen Trap, this is a thing if you really want to learn how Linux works, yeah. Del Anderson, it is really nice to be able to have a choice. Use UEFI if you can and plan for more than 3. It is addictive to have choice. Demlen Trap, there are stable books also. Stable books? You mean like a horse stable? Or books that are stable in nature? Demlen Trap, I tried this project once but gave up. It was too much work. I don't think that this is too much work. This actually feels exactly as I expected it to be. Because the statement too much depends a lot on the angle from which you're looking at it, right? This is most likely not going to be your daily driver. I would expect people who really want to know how Linux ticks to do this all the way on to the end and then go back to Debian after that. Del Anderson asks, how about Gentoo? Gentoo is too easy. I mean, Gentoo is like Arch Linux, right? Everything, all of the packages, you have the package manager, right? You get the base system installed, and then you have a package manager which has dependencies, automatic dependency resolutions. If you want, I don't know, to install KDE, you just type a command to pull KDE, and it will pull all of the packages and all of the dependencies, and then it will automatically compile everything for you. And you in Gentoo you will not really be doing much. 99.9% of time in Gentoo you will be doing this. Well, depending on how fast your CPU is for the compilation. I used Gentoo for a while when I was younger, and I had a really weak laptop. But in my company where I worked, we had some servers, some Linux servers with Debian. So I have installed a compiler on the Debian server, and I hooked up the compiler on my Debian server with my laptop's Gentoo. So when I would want to install a package, if my server was reachable with the TCP/IP, then the Gentoo compiler would offload like 80% of the work to the server and do only 20% of work on my laptop, right? So the server would compile most of the work. So basically, it would speed up my compilation by roughly 4 or 5 times. And if I would compile something at home where the company server wasn't reachable, then it simply wouldn't use it. Iceblade says future learning project. Demlan Trap, I was referring to that LFS book. I think it said stable somewhere in description. Yeah, it said stable because it has a pre-release version of the book and the development version of the book. So use the book with care. Demlan Trap, but your PC would still be compiling binary. I didn't understand what you mean by PC compiling binary. You compile the source code, or I missed the joke. Alexei says, nah, you would be sleeping. Real Gentoo users leave it compiling during the night. Iceblade says, I gotta go. I mean, you bought the whole CPU, you'll use the whole CPU. I love it. I need to give myself a reminder. I just remembered something. Typing on my phone. Okay. Guys and girls, we should close the shop for today. Iceblade is gone. We can no longer hang out here. Tongue twister without Iceblade. It's not okay. It's not okay to hang out if the dude is not here. Belated bye. I guess we can still hang out if you're here. I'm gonna go get some shower and sleeping. You're going to like a video, Iceblade, that comes tomorrow. If you're still here. Ah, yes, you are. Let's see if I can... youtube.com. Yeah, this one. Oh, not Social Blade. Didn't I type YouTube? Ah, it's not showing here. Ah, here. That one. Very, very easy topic. Easy to digest. You will have 10 minutes of lo-fi. Well, not music, but words, but... a little bit of easy content for tomorrow. Yes. Alrighty. Anything new on Matrix? Peerhub.app, never heard of it. Seems pretty interesting project. Peerhub.app. Free self-hosted alternative to streaming platforms like YouTube and Spotify. No more walled gardens. If you're a creator, the PeerHub server plugin hubs your content to hundreds of websites. Okay, I'm gonna read this offline. Reach millions of people on Mastodon, blurred pixel-fed Noster Hive Dera. I'm not sure if I understand what this is. It's like, I don't know, like a PeerTube, but just different software. If you're a creator, get your content hosted on a PeerHub site host like yours. No, I did not know this. PeerHub blasts your content out across multiple decentralized networks. Your earnings and popularity stats get calculated algorithmically and are impossible to block or fake. So how do I get an earning if I host my own software? This is a bit confusing. In the beginning, it sounded like PeerTube that I install locally. This, but then it says some algorithms that cannot be blocked. Massive syndication and user engagement are everything. PeerHub sets the comment section on fire. Active conversation equates to more views, listens, and sharing of your content. Unstoppable real-time payments stream to your wallet automatically. So who is the payment processor here? Even your audience can earn by posting thoughtful comments that get liked and tipped. Does YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, or Netflix pay your audience for their comments? No. PeerHub encourages user engagement. Zaps, tips, likes, and upvotes. Yeah, I can understand how the engagement in comments rises if people get paid for posting comments, yeah. But I don't understand the technology. Spend your coins at crypto merchants. Okay, here we are. We are getting there. We are getting to the bottom of this. Earnings are fully automated, so arguments don't arise between creators and site hosts. You do not need to accept any coins if you don't want to. Many haven't learned how to pay their bills with crypto yet. Staking your coins can earn you even more and provide you with passive income. So don't spend. Okay, so this is a crypto. I'm not going to say scam, but this doesn't sound much different than Brave browser and their crypto stuff. Well, to be honest, I don't really do this. If I do it as a joke. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We haven't learned it because we can't pay our bills with crypto. Especially if this PeerHub crypto is one of the shitcoins, so-called. Oh, it uses PeerTube. Okay, now I'm even more confused. PeerHub plugin for PeerTube server. To install PeerHub, just log into your PeerTube UI, go to Administration, Plugins, then search PeerHub and click Install. Be blurred, snort social. I don't know what that is. Twitter, I know. Agorize chat, but it has WhatsApp icon. Git Agorize net. So this is Matrix. This is Git page. Never seen this before in my life. 46 followers. Are these guys having 46 followers on their own chosen social media? How much they have here? What is Snort Social? I'm getting old, guys. I don't know what this is. Looks like boosted engagement. Of course it's boosted engagement, but what do you do with these coins, and which coins are they? I haven't seen them specifically state. Let's see PeerHub app donate. Let's see what kind of donation they accept in which currency. Okay, they want all of them. So if they accept all of the currencies, the crypto ones, right? Then maybe their plugin also works with all of them. I'm guessing how it works. So you install PeerTube server, then you install this PeerHub crypto plugin, and then you have some buttons on your PeerTube server where people can click and connect their crypto wallets and transfer some coins to you. If you accept the coins that your viewers have in their wallets. That's how it sounds to me. But before you even get anyone on your page, you actually have to. The question is how does the algorithmic promotion works? Maybe the key is in the promotion or something. I don't know. It sounds sus. Sounds sus to me. Whenever I see this crypto stuff, it's like I don't know. Send me a letter with the Benjamin picture in there. Okie dokie, guys. We are closing the shop for today. Our memory is full for today. No more knowledge can fit. And some of us go to bed, some of us go to lunch. And we're good. And some of us are already in bed, maybe. I keep forgetting how many zones ahead is Alexei, but he's well over midnight, I think. Anyways, have a nice rest of the day, night, and however you will. Yeah, Del Anderson, good day to you as well, and see you next Sunday. Thanks for hanging out.